campers, welcome to the next episode of Is This My Twin Flame or Is This a Karmic Connection, where I break down the most popular, important, key characteristics of twin flame connection and really explain them to you, what they really mean, because they are source of confusion and a lot of misunderstanding. So today we're going to be talking about signs and synchronicities and connection, telepathy, and that kind of stuff, right? Because it's one of the things that around the twin flame topic, it is known that with that person, with your person, with the other half of your soul, with your twin soul, the moment you meet them, there's a lot of signs and synchronicities around you that you literally feel connected to this person. You feel them, right? You experience similar things in the same moment, right? You oftentimes go through similar experiences in the past, and it's a tricky one today. What we're going to talk about, it's a tricky one because many of these things can really happen. Believe me, can really happen in a karmic connection or between soulmates as well. So let's break this down. Just like in other episodes, although again, today it's going to be a little tricky because it's really not that different. That one particular point, it's really not that different sometimes between karmics and twin souls. So let's start from talking about signs and synchronicities, right? So it is said and it is true that when you meet your twin flame, especially for the divine feminine, because the divine feminine awakens to the journey first and awakens relatively quickly after activation. So after meeting your twin flame, you start seeing signs and synchronicities from the universe. So suddenly you're going to be seeing, angel numbers, right? Every time you look at your phone, oh my God, it's 11:22 right now. Sign, don't we love spirit? Every time you look at your phone, it's 11:11 or 11:22, or you look at your receipt or phone numbers or bill amount, whatever that is, those numbers are significant, right? You're starting to see signs that you associate with this person. So let's say that you went to your first dinner date and I don't know, there was a bird like that in a restaurant's logo, and then you see it everywhere. You see the name everywhere. Suddenly everyone, like your neighbor, has the same name. You look at the cast of the show that you're watching and everyone has the same name, and you know what I mean, right? So here's the thing that you need to know about signs and synchronicities. They mean absolutely nothing. Okay, and I'm going to explain what I mean. They mean absolutely nothing. The only thing that they mean is that the universe is speaking to you, is that you are seeing things that you haven't seen before. So the common misconception and a common mistake that people do when they're new to spirituality in general, whatever kind of journey, is that they overanalyze these things, right? So I saw his name on I don't know, like there was a truck and it was his name, and then underneath there was a phone number and it was like 444. There's a mean union because 444 is stability, is security, is building foundation, right? You overanalyze these things. So we shouldn't be checking the meaning of every animal, every number, every angel number, right? In some specific cases, sometimes it's recommendable. If you, for example, for a couple of consecutive nights, wake up in the morning and exactly same hour, 2:34, go ahead and check that up, right? Look that up. If you, for example, see a number in a dream, that happens as well, consecutively, or a specific number, fine, go ahead, 444 on the timer, check that up, look that up. But don't get attached to these things because they mean absolutely nothing. They just mean that you started. We live in a matrix system, right? we live in a simulation. We live in a physical reality that is a projection of energetic projection of our souls to live this human experience, right? So when you start to awaken to the fact that that is true, and you start to awaken to the fact that maybe there are past lives, maybe there's karma, maybe there are destined connections, you start seeing these synchronicities. It's like universe is speaking to you, because you are the universe. You are creating these synchronicities. And oftentimes is that you are noticing, right? It's not that their name is suddenly everywhere. Now you're noticing. It's not that now everything has a toucan in its logo. It's that you are noticing, right? With the numbers, you are noticing. And I'm not saying, it means completely nothing. I always say that what you should think, feel, and say in these moments when you see the synchronicities, it's just a smile. Thank you universe. I know that there's a divine power. I know that there's source. I know that the Most High is watching over me. I know that my higher self is watching over me. And if anything, I would focus on when are you seeing these signs, right? So what were you doing? What were you thinking about? Because it may be confirmation of exactly that, right? Of something that came to you intuitively, of a thing that you will, struggling maybe to understand in your mind. You were thinking about a specific memory. You may receive a sign to let that go, or whatever that is, right? So think about more the circumstances. But the actual act of that means absolutely nothing, right? So if you think that you're on a twin flame connection because you've met someone and suddenly you started seeing 111 and 222 and their name everywhere, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is it. It may be it, but it may also be a karmic connection. And I'll tell you why in a moment, but I want to break down the second part of today's episode. So the telepathy, the synchronicities between the two of you, and the connection, right? So I've had ladies coming to me on sessions, and as well as I always say to you guys in my private life, it's like these people are attracted to me because subconsciously everything happens for a reason. I am an expert on soul ties, right? So I know what kind of soul connection a connection is when I read for you, when I read your energy. So obviously things like that are big. So I have a lot of example of, even in my private life, which is crazy, of people thinking that they are on a twin flame connection. And oftentimes these ladies say to me, oh, it must be it because, it's uncanny that oftentimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I think of him and I was dreaming of him, and the next day he messages me and he says that he was also dreaming about me, right? Or I found something that reminded me of him, and then I said this to him and he said that he was seeing the exact same thing, right? Or that I shared an experience with him that I went through something like some sort of a trauma or some sort of a fear, and that he went through the same thing in his life. So it must be it, right? Because it's like we're telepathically connected. It's like he thinks of something and I think of something. So both of these things, seeing synchronicities and signs and name of that person, and feeling that you're telepathically connected, that you feel their emotion, it can happen in a karmic connection and in a soulmate connection as well. It's caused by energy cords that are formed between us and other people from past lives, cords that are formed between souls. So if you have a karmic connection and you've been through several lifetimes with this person, it's a very pivotal karmic. We talked about this in previous episodes in your life, or it's a soulmate that you have a very strong connection with. It happens because it's just energy that connects you to. And oftentimes it happens specifically for you not to avoid and move past that connection. And when we talk about karmic connections, in many of my videos, I mentioned to you that no one who knows what a karmic connection is, right? And is not yet healed completely, would jump into that relationship willingly, right? Because our egos, they want soulmates, they want twin souls, right? So something has to happen on the level of that energetic push to push you towards this karmic connection. This is why if you have a person that you must be in some sort of a connection with this person because your souls agreed to this before incarnating, you have a soul contract with this person. The universe, your higher selves will guide you towards each other. This is why you sometimes feel incredible passion towards a karmic, magnetic pull towards a karmic. You start seeing signs and synchronicities with this person. You feel like you're connected because you dream about each other, because you think about the same things, because you feel their emotion, right, at a given moment, and then they come and tell you that they were going through something difficult, and it's like, oh my God, I knew, right? So just to give you an example, I myself in this lifetime am connected to two very strong soulmates that are my friends. And one of these people is very present in my life on an everyday daily basis, and the other person lives worlds apart, so we don't see each other, but we are connected. When I dream of them, I usually reach out to them and they dream of me the same day, right? Or when they reach out to me, I feel intuitively that something is off, that something is happening, that maybe they need my support because we've been through other lifetimes together, because we're soulmates, because we're connected. And it's especially powerful if one of these people, in my case, for example, all three of us, we're very tapped in, right? Well, I obviously being a spiritual teacher and a psychic medium, but they're also awake and spiritual, right? So it's you're more aware of these things. So it really does not mean that this person is your twin flame, okay? In a twin flame connection, the same thing happen. They're very unique and they're very individual for every pairing, right? For definitely it's given if you are on a twin flame connection, you as well will start to see signs and synchronicities and think that will remind you of this person, especially in moments when you will want to maybe move on and forget and things will start to get difficult or painful. In the beginning of this journey, you're going to be seeing the name everywhere, you know, your song everywhere, and playing on the radio and playing in a store that you enter. You're going to be seeing things that remind you of them, their name everywhere. And you also will feel them, right? We talked about this as well in the previous episode, that you will feel their energies. Like you will know that they're going through something hard. You will feel when they go through the dark night of the soul. You will feel when they're going through some sort of very challenging, maybe karmic contract, right? When they're going through something difficult, because you're connected. It's going to be on a different level. You know, some pairings dream of each other, some pairings have visions, some pairings just have intuitive. Also depends on your gifts, and it's very individual for every connection. But it's not that characteristic that is, you know, it's only given for this connection. So if you think that you're connected to someone who is your twin flame because you started seeing their name and signs and synchronicities and 1111 and 11-20-20, and because you think of them and that's exactly when they think of you, and also, you know, you felt them, and then there was a confirmation that they in fact were going for something, it does not mean that this is your twin flame, right? So check if this is something you're going through. Please go and watch the whole series, especially from the first episodes, and make sure that all the other things resonate, because that alone is not enough to know that this is your twin flame connection. Especially, it sometimes just happens, you know, all the things that I've mentioned, yes, the chords, the, you know, contracts, but sometimes you may be yourself a very powerful empath without you knowing. Maybe you are not yet fully awakened as a channel. Maybe you are in the beginning of your spiritual journey. But sometimes it happens to people who are old souls, who are very sensitive souls, very empathic souls, right? So you just pick up someone's energy. And if to that you add the delulu, of your ego that is not yet healed. So the lack mentality for which you seek for connection, you seek for love, you want certain things subconsciously to be real, to happen, you have a recipe for confusion, right? So if it's only that makes you think, oh, there are just few points, right? It's not something that me, when I would be talking to someone and going through, these points, like how you can know that this is your twin flame, I would literally use the cases that I've mentioned to you from episode maybe 1, 2, 3, right, 4. I continue with these episodes because I know that these are points of confusion, right? So please make sure that there's more than just that. It can really happen in karmic connections, right? It can really happen in any other connections. All right, I hope this was helpful. If you think it was helpful, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and comment. If you have questions, comment as well. Follow for more. There's still a few episodes to go. If you want to watch previous episodes, you can either go to my TikTok and just scroll down for the episodes, or you can go to my YouTube. I have a separate playlist with videos that help you differentiate between twin flame connection and karmic connection, so you can watch all the videos at once. And yeah, and if you feel like you're still confused, and you feel guided to sign up for session, for a psychic session with me. We will look into your connection, specifically into your karmic contract with a person that you're connected to. Go to my website, link is in my bio as well. You can book through my website. I love you so incredibly much, and I wish you an amazing day.